Hi, I'm Brad Sandlands and welcome to Inside Chat. Today I want to talk to you about the 6 most commonly asked questions demystifying aged care. And actually it's one of those things that does come up quite often when we're talking to new applicants coming into aged care. There's quite a bit of trepidation about what this journey is going to look like and what they can expect. So here are some of the commonly asked questions that I would see from a day-to-day basis. And really the first one is they take all your money and it's unaffordable. Well, when they're referring to it's usually residential aged care. Home care is a little bit different, but in the residential aged care space, there's a common misconception that the aged care provider will take that resident's money and that the family, etc., won't see any of it post-discharge of that resident. Simply not true. The reality is those people that can afford it, and this is means tested, and at the moment it's generally those with assets or stuff above a $200,000 mark. Anyone with above that would be required to contribute to their accommodation. They'll also potentially contribute to their care. So they would pay some allotment. But if they were to pay what's called a RAD, or a refundable accommodation deposit, that's fully refundable, assuming there is no drawdown of that money. But that's fully refundable back to the estate. It doesn't earn interest. It's if you pay 500 grand in, and you'll get 500 grand back out. That's the current status. It may change next year, but no, there's certainly no taking and holding of all money. There are costs of care. We've had videos explaining this before, but basically anyone who enters care will pay a basic daily fee, and that's set at 85% of single aged care pension. As I said before, you potentially will contribute to accommodation. You'll potentially contribute to some sort of care via a means tested care fee. If you have been deemed to be a fully supported resident or low means resident, so you've got stuff under the value of $55,000 roughly, you won't pay anything else but the basic daily fee. So really to debunk the myth that they take all your money, no, it's simply not true. You will have some costs, but they're not as extreme as what you would think, and aged care is very affordable. The second thing I get told a lot, and particularly from the incoming resident, more than the families, you get told what to do. Absolutely not. It's resident's choice. If you choose to have a shower in the morning or the evening, that's absolutely your choice. There is a preference from the care home, a preference that whilst the maximum number of staff are on during the day, that those care needs could be better met by having showers in the morning or the evening. But the reality of a care home, if there's 100 people in that care home, not everyone can have a shower at 7 o'clock in the morning. So it is residents' choice. You have 6 meals prepared for you a day, ranging from breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea, dinner and supper. And of course, there's snacks available throughout the day for most care homes. So you're certainly not told when to eat. There are meal times generally, but you'll be able to have some flexibility when you eat. And what you can do in the care home is generally up to whatever you want to do. If you don't want to participate in a lifestyle activity, you don't have to. The staff are there to encourage you to promote wellbeing and prevent any social isolation, because we do have a problem with depression within aged care homes where people will socially isolate themselves. But you'll be encouraged but not told what to do around those sort of things. The big one at the moment, most topical, is there's no beds. Again, there are beds. There are beds in the market. The industry at the moment was reporting roughly 93% occupancy on, let's say, 200,000 beds. There's still 7% vacancy. But when you look at that, though, in that 7%, there might be beds that are unofficially offline, that are in a transitional phase, that are shared rooms, and they might be in facilities that are a little bit lesser in the upkeep than the others. But there's certainly beds, and it's an industry where, unfortunately, our residents will pass, and there'll be an opportunity for another person to then come into that room. So at no stage should anyone be turning people away because they are full, because the reality is the next day they may not be. So there certainly are beds around. But if you are thinking about coming into care, it is best to look at it earlier rather than later at the moment, because you may have to wait a bit longer for that ideal care home that you want to be in. And it doesn't mean you need to take up that offer immediately if you're not ready either. But I would certainly start the journey in looking at where you want to be. This has been a perpetual one forever. Staff don't know what they're doing. The reality is the aged care staff are getting highly trained. They're getting better with what their training methodologies are. In my experience in care, I haven't come across one care staff member that doesn't want to learn more or doesn't want to understand their residents more. There are certainly things that aged care providers could do a little bit better around ensuring that the training is fit for purpose in terms of what their job roles are. But there are plenty of providers out there at the moment that have training facilitator type roles and that are putting a lot of money into the training aspect, A, for the residents' benefit, but B, for staff retention. So staff not knowing what they're doing is simply not true. You will have a lot of new staff coming through a care home. You might have some non-Australian staff coming through a care home, but their hearts are in the right place and they simply are working through and understanding. And remember, they could be dealing with, in this 100-bed care home, 100 residents at any one time, getting used to that. And generally a turnover is about a third. So there's 30 to 40 new people coming in each year that they're getting used to as well. So it's a big, tough job, but these guys are doing a great job doing it. The other one around staffing is there's no staff or not enough. The aged care industry has been mandated now for a couple of years around care minutes. There's a big push to make sure that aged care providers are held liable to that. And again, sitting in executive team meetings and being a part of different discussions with other providers, there's certainly no method to trying to cut back on any of this. They are working hard as an industry to make sure we've got adequate numbers of staff. It's one of those industries where we need to do a better job of attracting talent to the business, but there are certainly staff around and there's no lack of staff and support for residents. I mean, the care minutes that are put into place now are far superior than they were before, and before they were still doing a pretty good job. So the fact that there's no staff is not true. We're mandated. Ask those questions when you come into care, but you'll certainly find there's plenty of staff around. If there are shifts that are short, and agencies will be making plenty of money out of this, they're generally filled by agency staff, and there are people on deck to make sure they're looked after. So there are staff around. And that brings us to our last point. The care home only wants people with money. So again, a tough one. Look, there are some providers out there that would prefer high means or non-supported residents coming through their doors. These are people who are paying cash or big rads for rooms that are coming through. The reality is the industry is incentivized to take in people that are supported or low means or concessional. We have a lot of names for these things, but the bottom line is there are industry supports and incentives around taking through people without any money. Care homes are encouraged all the way through to make sure they are addressing not only the financial obligation, but the moral obligation of care. So the notion that they only want one type of resident is, again, simply not true. There is some severe financial constraints if a care home falls below a certain threshold of low means residents. The financial implications can be huge for them. So they're certainly got it in their best interest to get that right. But yes, you will come across some that only want high means residents. But again, I'd encourage you, if you're seeking out your preferable care home earlier and prepared to wait, or you can wait a little bit longer, then you may get your home of choice, or you're going to have to look at what some of the other options are around the area. But there's certainly options there as well. Not every care provider has got a mantra of more money over people. I hope that debunks or demystifies a couple of those things that are out there. If you like the content that we're doing, please like and subscribe, or like the videos on LinkedIn or Facebook. The more content we can put out there, the better. And we certainly value any feedback that you can give us. Have a great day and take care. Thank you.